Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for January the 4th. I'm going to be pulling one card for each sign, so that's enough to give us all a little bit of juice. We're going to take that one that fell by itself. A little bit of juice. If we know our sun, moon, and rising sign, then you can get a little bit more information. And then if you know all your planetary placements, then you can get actually quite a bit of tea out of a short little video like this. So we're going to get started here in a second. Thank you guys very much for participating in the contest by commenting down below. Thank you also for all the likes and shares on this video. Okay. So Aries, what you have showing up here is the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is telling me that there is something happening that is making you feel satisfied, happy. For some of you, this may be something that is more in the spiritual realm of things, some kind of new understanding or epiphany of how things work spiritually. That could be bringing you a lot of satisfaction today, or maybe even doing something in the spiritual realm can bring you a lot of satisfaction today. But definitely this is, no matter what the source is, this does talk about happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, some kind of good emotion that's really coming through for you. So we like that. Very cool, Aries. Taurus. Taurus, you guys have, excuse me, this is the Emperor if I'm not mistaken. Still getting used to this deck. Yep. So what we have coming up here is the Emperor. And what we're seeing is, doesn't that look like fire and ice? It looks to me like you're really balancing those things that are making up your world. You're finding a good balance in your world right now, and you may be sort of turning away from something that is making you feel dragged out or drawn down, to really work on balancing your own self, balancing your own emotions, finding that sweet spot for you. Very cool. Next up, let's look at who's third? Gemini. Gemini. Seven of Swords showing up in reverse. What's going on here? Geminis, I really feel like you're doing some type of healing today, mental or emotional healing. I kind of get the sense of with picking up the swords, a lot of times, that's pulling away other people's weapons so they don't have anything to come at us with. With putting them down, which is kind of what I'm getting the sense of with this card the way it is right now, with putting down all those swords, that's basically deactivating triggers. So I think you are doing some shadow work. You're deactivating some things that used to trigger you. So now if people come at you with those again, it doesn't really matter because it's not going to set you off. So definitely doing some shadow work and seeing some really good progression, healthy progression with that shadow work today, Gemini. It's good for you. Cancers. Cancer, you guys have the Five of Wands showing up here. This definitely looks like a battle or some type of competition here for sure, although I gotta say I don't know that I necessarily feel, I feel like there's somebody that you're going head to head with today, Cancers, but I feel like you're going head to head on like showing off and competing in a way that highlights positive aspects, that highlights talents or abilities. This might be where, rappers get together and they show off their abilities to see who's the best. This could be about, any kind of head-to-head type contest where the opponent is very clearly visible to you, and that does allows for everybody really to show off their talents and abilities. So some type of competition that really allows you to not only improve your skills as you go along, but also to show off the skills that you have already. So we like that. That's Cancer. Battle of the Bands. Who are we looking at next? This is Leo. Leo, 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 Leo. This is interesting. This is actually the back of the Temperance card on this deck. If you look at the front, you can tell. The way they have it set up is of this side and that side. So this would be this side, this would be that side. So Temperance, balance, but it's coming up in reverse and on that side. So this basically means that right now you are struggling to bring balance into a situation. There is something that you have noticed is off. If you notice, there's the little, I don't know what you would call this, that the Hanged Man is on in this deck, and the Hanged Man is not there. So this really tells me that you have something going on in your life that has been making you feel unbalanced, and you really didn't know what to do about it. I think you took some time to go ahead and get a different perspective on it, be able to look at it in different ways to find some kind of solution as to how you're going to bring that balance into play. And I think that whatever this is that has you out of balance has really been jacking with you a little bit. And so I think that you're pretty upset about it. We've got all this red showing up. It may have been interfering with your financial situation. Red having to do with the base chakra. And so this is really a point where you are stepping up to the plate to bring balance back into a situation. For a lot of you, this is going to be a financial situation or some type of situation that is very much material or tangible, with all of this red in here having to do with security. So bringing balance, realizing that there's been something throwing you off balance, coming up with a solution, and now you're taking action towards bringing that balance back into your life. Okay, so that is for Leo. Next up, we're going to look at Virgo. So Virgos, we have the Knight of Wands showing up here. This just tells me that you are taking some kind of action. I feel like this action that you're taking feels inspired, feels like the best thing that could possibly happen right now, but I also feel like the way the lighting is on this card, I kind of feel like you don't have a lot of supporters on this. You may be the lone person taking action on something to improve a situation, but I feel like you feel very strongly about this action as you're taking it. So I don't think that it's not holding you back that you're not having any support on it. I started to say I don't think it's really bothering you that you don't have support. I can't say that Spirit was necessarily going along with that. It may be bothering you that you don't have support, that you're kind of the Lone Ranger here. But like I said, I think you're feeling passionate enough about whatever this is that you're just not letting that hold you back or stop you. All right, next up we're going to look at Virgo. And so Virgos, you guys have the Lovers card showing up here. And this is just really, this goes back to more of the original meaning of the Lovers card with the tarot when it was originally out, which has to do with decision. What kind of decision am I going to be making here? And this is something that has to do with your happiness long term, not just, for 20 minutes. So with this decision, we've got this skull showing up here. With this decision, something is going to have to be allowed to drift away or go away suddenly, maybe even, to allow for something that's going to be refreshing and replenishing. So you're making some type of decision today, and this is one that involves your long-term potential, and it also involves your happiness as well. Okay, so that was Libra. Who's next? Scorpio. Scorpio is Five of Swords. Scorpios, it's interesting how the back of this card is as opposed to the front. Really different meanings here. So for me, the Five of Swords here is just talking about this idea that there has been battle around us, maybe even involving us, and we're not having it anymore. We're walking away from it. We don't need that. I really feel like Scorpios, that's us actually walking away, leaving somebody standing there holding those swords, ready to make sarcastic comments, ready to make cutting statements, ready to say a whole lot more. They're ready to keep the fight going, keep the drama up. We're just done with it. We don't really, at this point, we don't really care if we quote unquote won or lost. We're just walking away for our own mental health and sanity because it's dragging us down to stay involved in this type of behavior. So we're walking away. We're getting away from that. All right, so that's Scorpios. Next up, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, you guys have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. This is a really good card to have in reverse because it talks about the idea of loosening up the budget. So maybe you're getting a bonus, a pay raise, maybe you just paid something off so you have no more monthly payment for whatever that might be. This also can have to do very much with social situations as well, that where you might have felt left out before or like an outsider, now you're being included in some social situations around you. More of a support network, even if that support network is only emotional, that still counts. So more of a support network available to you also when this card shows up. All right, so that's Sagittarius. Next up, let's look at Capricorn. Capricorn, Three of Pentacles. This just tells me that you are collaborating with somebody else today. So working together along with somebody else to get something accomplished. It's interesting how this deck depicts the collaboration card. There's only one person here, but there's one person, there's three pentacles, there's all this fabulous artwork around this person, and this beautiful flower, which maybe is a rose. I'm not exactly sure from the shape of it, but maybe. So there is definitely some good work being accomplished here. And I do think that's through collaboration. For some of you, it may even be that investments are paying off. Maybe you're collaborating with your money and having it go out there and make money for you. Could be that. Could be that. But I also feel like, you know, things are going really well from the way this card looks. Whatever the collaboration is, things are going really well. Okay, so next up. Who is next up? That was Capricorn. So we need Aquarius. Aquarius. Page of Pentacles. What's going on here? Aquarius, I think you're able to pass along to somebody else some type of good news about money or about material goods, the way this is showing up. I feel like it's not so much about you receiving good news about money or material goods, although that might be a part of it. But I think the bottom line on this card is that you're letting somebody else know some kind of good news about money or material goods. Something encouraging and uplifting and inspiring for them. Now, Pisces. Okay, so Pisces, what you have is the Magician showing up in reverse. It's interesting that the Wheel of Fortune shows up with the Magician too. That kind of implies a little bit about luck whenever we have the Wheel of Fortune showing up on the same card as the Magician. And I really think of the Magician normally as a card that, you know, is not so much about luck as it is about, oh wait, look at this. This is the Wheel of Fortune card. Look, there's the front of it. There's the Wheel of Fortune. That's definitely the Magician though, because we can see it right there. I just happened to look over and see this other card we're not looking at yet and go, wait a second. This is definitely the Magician card. So this is our Wheel of Fortune card. It just happens to have the Magician on it. Same posture, except now he's holding the ink instead of the candle that's burning at both ends. So Wheel of Fortune in reverse just means that you're having a hard time to actually manifest those things that you want to manifest right now. It may be that there's some kind of restriction or limitation that is just keeping you from getting out there and doing those things that you want to do to bring your manifestations in. So there might be, you know, travel restrictions, or, excuse me, maybe you're in quarantine. Something in my throat, sorry. Excuse me, maybe you have laryngitis and you can't talk. I don't know. But there's something going on here, and this is Pisces, right? Yeah. There's something going on here that's keeping you from getting out there and doing what you need to do to manifest those things that you want to manifest right now. What I'm hearing is it's temporary, and we kind of know that that's temporary. With the Wheel of Fortune, everything has a season, you know? And so that means that we shouldn't be too frustrated by this, and maybe instead we focus on something else that, you know, it's more of the time to focus on something else than this, and this time will come back up. This time will come back up. Okay, so that's what we've got for today. Thank you guys very much for being here. I appreciate it. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.